pleased I am that all of you could be here at this second Teaching Business Ethics workshop. We had the first one up at Santa Fe for the northern half of the state. It was a great success, and I'm really glad that the Daniels Fund has let us have the opportunity to do this. So thank you to the Daniels Fund. Also thank you to our partners, OC and Linda Ferrell at the University of New Mexico and Doug Brown. It's really been a pleasure working with them on this collaborative effort. And thank you to each of you for coming, because your presence here, it tells me that you value your students, value what you do enough, that you're willing to take some time out of your schedule to come down to Las Cruces or come down to the Hotel Encanto and spend a day with us. And that's really wonderful, and it shows that you value business ethics quite a bit. Now, sometimes ethics can be a tricky concept. You know, it's easy when you know someone's going to be harmed unjustly by something you do to say, oh, that's unethical. But, you know, what if you're uncertain that anyone will ever be harmed? What if one party may be harmed by something you do, but another party helped? What if harm doesn't come from my action, but by my inaction, by not doing anything? You know, well, those ethical situations are a little trickier, but those are often faced in the real world as well. And so that's why the Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative focuses on principle-based ethics. If we teach our students to focus on principles they believe in, honesty, integrity, fairness, respect for other people, then that will help them to know which path to follow in these complicated, more ambiguous situations. Situations like a conflict between two rights of different parties, or where we know that an option is going to cause harm, but not doing the option is going to cause harm to another party. What do we do? All right. So, like a lot of you, it's important to me that my students understand ethics and how it integrates into the classes I teach. I teach marketing classes, and so I do try to incorporate ethics and ethical situations into my marketing classes. And I'm excited to be here to learn more from talking with each of you, and also hearing the presentations that we have today. We've got some great presentations coming up about how I can better incorporate ethics into my classes, and what sort of things are working and not working from other people, because it's not just deans who steal from each other. Faculty, we often steal from each other too. I mean, if somebody's got a really great idea, why not add it to my repertoire of things that I can teach my students? All right. So when our students get out there in the real world, part of their job is going to be to consider how their decisions will have impact on others and how they will appear to others, because each decision, big or small, is going to have some ethical implications and is going to be judged by people as the right or wrong thing to have done. And part of our job is to teach them that, even though a decision may be complex, even though they don't think anyone's going to notice what they do, they still have a responsibility to themselves, to be true to themselves, to their customers, to their employers, to their employees, to the stockholders and other stakeholders in that organization, to do the right thing and to treat them justly. And so I just want to say welcome, and I'm so glad that all of you could come. And now OC and Linda are going to say a few words of welcome as well.
I just have a small concern at this point in time, and we might need to have a little intervention here, but I've now heard the word steal a couple of times. And this is a business ethics conference, and if we could just interject, reappropriate, we'd like to reappropriate the idea.
Well, we'll put the handcuffs on you, all right? We can change the title, but it's still...
The interesting part about all this, I've taught marketing ethics and business ethics for many years. One of the first questions I asked students, because at Northern Colorado and University of Wyoming, it was an elective course. So why are you taking this course? Guess what the response was? It's easy. It's common sense. My GPA is a little low and it could use a little bit of boosting on the other end. And so you start taking them through the course and taking them through companies and what they've done. and you start sharing your personal experiences from business. And I'll share a short one from my business experience. I was an account executive in advertising for Pizza Hut in Houston with Winniest Brandon. And the account supervisor came in and he told me I needed to get the sales for Pizza Inn, our biggest competitor in Houston and Central Texas, which was my market. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I don't care how you do it. You need to get the sales for Pizza Inn. So I went to my other colleagues, other account executives, I said, is Dan serious? And they said, oh, he's dead serious. He's testing you. He wants to find out, you know, how good you are. You're the only one here with an MBA. And you got a little premium in your salary because of your MBA. He wants to see what you're going to do. So I did a lot of research on Pizza Inn, found out who the CEO was, got the annual report. They operated out of Dallas. I found out they transmitted their sales by modem. This was the late 80s. Thursday night, each store did to the corporate headquarters. So what I did Friday morning, I got all the Pizza Inn phone numbers. I called every restaurant, and I said, this is Linda from the home office, and we didn't get your sales last night. 77 out of 79 stores gave me their weekly sales numbers. The other two said their manager wasn't in, they didn't feel comfortable giving me the numbers over the phone. I let those two slide. I felt fairly lucky at that point. I gave the sales numbers to the account supervisor, who immediately called the Pizza Hut client and said, we scored. Do you know why they wanted the sales numbers? They wanted to do targeted coupon drops on the weaker Pizza Inn restaurants to put competitive pressure on them to help create a little anxiety in their sales, to put it mildly. How many of us can see our students in situations where they're young, they've not worked in an organization, they are told to do something, they're told they have no choice? This was during the oil downturn in Houston. There were not a lot of other employment opportunities. How many of our students would do the same thing? And did I lie? No. I was Linda. I was at the home office, and I didn't get their sales numbers. But I wasn't supposed to get their sales numbers. But I didn't position it in any way other than. And that, to say it's a small infraction, it's a lie, right? A lie by commission. But if our students think that these decisions in business are easy, they're not easy. They're not black and white. You don't see the whole picture. So the more you can do to share not just the negative, not just where the wheels have come off the wagon for companies, but the positive too. And later this afternoon we'll be talking about resources we're developing to help our students understand not all of us have the luxury of having freestanding business ethics courses, right? How many don't have freestanding business ethics courses for your students? Probably a vast majority of us don't. And if we do, they might be elective courses and our students don't get the exposure. So our challenge is to find the way in our marketing, our management, our accounting, and our finance courses, ways to integrate and make this come alive so that our students can see that there are gray areas, there are risks. Supervisor's dictation doesn't tell all. Culpability comes from the individual, not the work team. You can't pass it up, or you can't pass it up. So I think the challenges are very evident. The resources to help us deal with them, those we can thank the Daniels Fund for helping us develop and helping us to come alive, to bring into the classroom. So thank you. I'm looking forward to today and enjoyed last night too.
Thank you.